Sage is improving Sage CRM by modernizing the user interface. We're enhancing old features. We're adding new capabilities. We're improving user satisfaction and extending cloud deployment options, scalability, and performance. This is deliberate development to make sure that we're maximizing the return on investment of the account systems by integration with Sage CRM. And Sage wants to make Sage CRM as simple as possible for our customers. And we're aiming to streamline the user experience and eliminate frustrations to enhance the user experience. The main focus, as we're looking at this slide, the main focus for the new release of 2024 R1 is to modernize the user experience, improve user satisfaction. We've done a lot of work on security. We've done a lot of work in increasing productivity and then laying the groundwork for future advancements. And that's something that's going to be a multi-release effort as we get ready for the next set of years within the life cycle of Sage CRM. We've done a lot of work on UI and user interface improvements. We've sorted out some 40 cases that are customer issues that have been escalated into the development team. That's a 25% increase of what we've normally managed to achieve. We've really attacked the backlog there. We've improved favorites management with an ordering options, the ability to highlight text within multi-line fields, and that's to improve readability and get users to have faster insights on key information. We've added a tagging system for easier record organization and retrieval. We've brought in some artificial intelligence with the use of an embedded chatbot for user help. We've done some administration improvements where we've enhanced security for better data protection. And there's a lot of security changes that are behind the scene there, including improved control of external URLs in dashboard gadgets. And we've also removed a hassle for partners and customers because we've prevented the deletion of key metadata, ensuring that screens and lists can't accidentally be removed, causing a certain amount of distress and chaos. And we've also made sure that we've continued our work to really attack improvements on the general architecture. So we've adopted 64-bit Java for increased performance and scalability. And there's all sorts of other things that are surrounding that, including, which I'll talk later on about the refreshed e-learning, updated user assistance, and supporting content on the community. So if we step on to think about these elements, improvements in detail, the first one is looking at the improved favorites management with ordering options. So you can now use a new option to sort favorites within user preferences to change the way in which entries in the favorites list are presented. And you can either sort things on the basis of alphabetic A to Z, first word in their name with entries that begin with an A on top. We can sort as well from oldest to newest, sorting entries by the date in which they were added into the favorites list. And this is all done through the profile area. So you go into preferences and you can choose the option then to change this into sort favorites. And a system administrator can also go in and change that for a user as well. Now, as we look at the next feature within the development, we can see that we've also added in the ability to apply formatting within text fields. Now, this is a way of highlighting text in multi-line text fields so that if you want to add bold or italics, then the readability of that data is improved to allow for faster insights on key information. This is something that is carried through on fields such as problem details or solution details within the cases screen, opportunity details, and you can use HTML tags of bold and italics and to be able to organize line breaks as well to present the information in the way that you want. It's carried through to display in the summary screens and in the lists, but it is not carried through into reports. And if we look now then at the next feature, we're going to be looking at probably the largest feature that we've added into the product, which is the idea of tagging used to classify records. So this is a new tagging system that allows for easier record organization and retrieval. You can think of tagging as a way of using hashtags as you would in a social and media network. So if, for example, you want to label something as belonging to a particular project that doesn't have an existence within Sage CRM, it's just an arbitrary element that you as a user want to organize and group records, these can be grouped and tagged whatever their entity. So you can tag it on, use the idea of a project for contacts associated with that project, companies, you could group in orders and quotes, etc. And so it is something that is displayed very easily in the user interface. We've changed the summary screen so that they're in the top left, and then that information is then able to be used in the context of reports. So tags displayed in the user interface by default, available on cases, companies, leads, quotes, orders, opportunities, persons, and solutions. It is just easy to use within the interface. It is not a hard thing to be able to do, and a system administrator can then manage those behind the scenes using an existing feature known as key attributes. It's a way of simplifying something that was an older feature but was hard to use, but now becomes a very easy feature to use to be able to create reports on groups that match a particular criteria that you want, or you want to be able to create marketing groups for then sending out to MailChimp, etc. The next thing that we can have a look at is how we've implemented the chatbot inside the Sage CRM interface. So we've now included an artificial intelligence chatbot, which we've called Sage CRM Ally. There are several products within the Sage family using Ally and this technology. So we're not the only Sage product using this, and as its name indicates, it's a beta version, and we're going to continue to enhance this and the accuracy and the usefulness of the answers as we learn more about how people interact with Sage CRM Ally. Now, we've trained Sage CRM Ally on all of the documentation published for supported versions of Sage CRM, and the chatbot is actually identical to the one that you'll find on the Sage CRM Help Center. The essential difference here is that we've now embedded it into the context of Sage CRM's own user interface. It's a good thing to be able to do, to use this and frame fully featured questions. So you chat to it as you would another human being or actually a support agent. And you get the best results by being as specific as possible. Now, if you don't put a version in as you're working with it, it will assume that you're going to be working on whatever is the latest version. So if you're embedded in 2024 R1, it's going to be assuming that you're asking questions about 2024 R1. The chatbot is using queries, but they're not storing any identifiable location data. It uses anonymized IP addresses that only is useful in terms of geographic trends. Be warned, it is a chatbot, it's still in development, and so sometimes it will give inaccurate answers. So it's worth making sure that you double check the information if it is intended to be critical ways of working. Then the next thing that we should have a look at is the administration change, which prevents the deletion of key metadata. So this is a very simple thing, really. It's we've now made it impossible to accidentally delete core screens and lists. And that simply is a internal metadata change that means that you will see that the delete button is no longer present for most of the system's screens. They're the ones that we've added into the system, and we really rather think that they're important, and so we don't want people accidentally removing them. If you create your own screens and lists, they of course can be removed by the system administrator, and so due care always needs to be taken when editing and working with metadata. The next thing to look at is the admin improvements that we've made to prevent external URL, to take a preventative approach to the way in which external URLs are used within website gadgets. So what we've done is we've added a checkbox into the system behavior settings that allow system administrators to confirm whether or not they want to allow external URLs when it comes to website gadgets. We've got this feature inside Sage CRM called a website gadget, and that website gadget can be useful for embedding, say, static pages that come within inside the server, and all of the standard dashboard gadgets that we have within inside Sage CRM, which include information about, say, about the administration help, the quick links to guides, etc. There's a lot of static content which make use of website gadgets, but if you want to be able to have something that points outwards, so that you're pointing out into a completely different location, so you're embedding, say, a web link, then that gadget goes through a proxy setting within inside your server, and that was an area that we've tightened up to say, well, actually we shouldn't be allowing this unless we deliberately make a choice to say that we want to allow for gadgets that point outside our own server. And this is all about tightening Sage CRM security and ensuring that users are not directed to a malicious URL. Okay. There's full instructions on how to actually work with that. And if we now look at probably the last thing that I want to talk about directly about the new features of Sage CRM, and that is our support for a 64-bit Java runtime environment. From 24R1, all Sage CRM components, Java-based, now support 64-bit JRE out of the box. If 64-bit JRE is not installed on the server where you deploy Sage CRM, then Sage CRM will install it automatically. And because of this change, we've actually removed instructions on how to manually switch to the JRE from the 2024 R1 administrator help. There were previous instructions on how you could move at least some of the components to a 64-bit architecture. We're now on our Java side fully 64-bit, and this is really setting the scene for some of the work that we're going to be doing in 2024 R2 to uplift all of the remaining components of Sage CRM. So in terms of transitioning, the main focus of the release, as you can see, is starting with this uplift to the Java architecture. We're going to be following in 2024 2 with an uplift of the ISAPI EWare DLL, and that will mean that everything will be shifted into a position where we can be ensuring significant improvements in performance and the reduction in vulnerability to certain potential security threats. So the 2024 and 2024 R1 and R2 are very much about defending Sage CRM, as well as giving us that scalability elements and performance that we want as well. If we think about where you can see where we're going in terms of product development, then we've updated the roadmap. Please be aware that the roadmap may change in the next few weeks and months as it becomes clearer what our exact deliverables are going to be for 2024 R2 and 2025 R1 onwards. So our intention is everything that is described now will be delivered, but it may have to be changed because of prioritization. The first place we need to look is always the Help Center, so help.sagecrm.com. That's got all of the information around the supported versions of Sage CRM. We're also going to be improving this to add in more video help and resources for learning Sage CRM, with really the essence on 2024 R1 onwards. We've got a whole set of new developer educational material that will be linked to from the Help Center. As part of the release, we have got additional guides and, of course, the embedded chatbot inside the site. If we look specifically at what has happened and the changes that have been made, we've got changes that you'd be looking at directly in the sense that there are some changes within the help guide, within the administrator guide, and some changes within the developer guide. Now, in terms of the user guide, you can see that we've obviously it's added in the information about sorting favorites, applying formatting to the text fields, the use of tags, and the way in which we can use the chatbot. In the administrator guide and help, then it explains the way in which the settings work within the system behavior screen to control the external URLs, and the way in which the 64-bit Java runtime environment has changed. There's also a move to indicate that you can no longer update certain screens and lists as well. So thinking in terms of what's across in our planning of upgrades into the next slide, what we can see is that you can arrive at 2024 R1 from upgrading from any of the versions of 2021, 2022, or 2023. So in order to get to 2024 R1 and you're on a previous version, then you must upgrade to one of these listed items first. But please note that come September, 2021 will be dropping out of support as well. Now, if you are working on an older version of Sage CRM, but we do need to have everyone encourage them to upgrade at the earliest possibility. Releases since 2021 and 2020, all the way through 22, 23 and 24 have made considerable improvements in security and the management of customer data. It is perfectly possible to carry out long tail upgrades, and there's a lot of information available to you within the upgrade guides to make this a very manageable experience. In terms of the upgrade between versions, I would encourage you to make sure that each time an upgrade takes place, before stepping on and upgrading further, you must log on and as a system administrator to ensure all of the metadata is correctly upgraded for each version. So please do work on those long tail upgrades, and please do make sure that each step is validated in that upgrade cycle. Now, there have been some changes in supported software, and I'll also mention in a moment some deprecation that has taken place. In terms of what we have dropped in support within our mobile environments, mobile theme, we no longer support Android 12 or iOS 15. In terms of our main environment, of course, we've moved across to support the OpenJRE 64-bit versions. We support on the database SQL Server 2022 cumulative update 12 and earlier, and for 2019 SQL Server cumulative update 25 and earlier. We've added support for Android 13 and 14, and we also have support for iOS 17 as well. That's just about it in terms of the changes. There's no big changes when it comes to sort of other hardware software elements. The hardware and software guides have complete descriptions about requirements. In terms of deprecated features, these have not yet been removed, but we are providing information about the fact that we regard these now as deprecated. Detached table level scripts, and all themes except for the contemporary theme. Now, detached table level scripts are an old feature. They're going to be removed from 2024 R2. They are being removed because they have some traditional long-standing problems associated with them, chiefly with the interaction with escalation rules. And actually, you'll see there is an advisory which talks about the way in which we would rather people work and use escalation rules in order to ensure that information that has to be managed, the submitted information that has to be taken into account, should be used. Now, when it comes to all themes being deprecated except for the contemporary theme, well, if you were a new install, you would never see anything other than the contemporary theme. But if you had come from an upgraded version, you would see the fact that you had a previous old Sage theme, and some people wanted to keep working with that. What we've done in some of the recent versions of Sage CRM is added the ability to overwrite elements of the contemporary theme in a safe way. So we've built in a mechanism by which people can add in their own branding and their own changes to the user interface in a safe way. And that's the theme override feature. And you can see that documented and described within the Community Hub as well.